OB3 gave us some awesome stuff as it relates to opportunity zones. It made it permanent. It gave us lots of clarity around what we can do with it. Gave us rural qualified opportunity zones. But one of the concerns and one of the criticisms of Opportunity Zone 2.0 is that it creates this dead period. So there's investors, accountants, and advisors talking about this so-called dead period that's going to supposedly occur between now and the end of 2026. Because some believe that it's safer or that it's better to wait until 2027, in January of 2027, when OZ 2.0 goes into effect, so that way you can get the 5-year deferral and either a 10% reduction in taxes or a 30% reduction in taxes if you're in a rural qualified opportunity fund. That belief could cost people millions of dollars in missed opportunity. So I'm here to set the record straight that the dead zone is for other people. If you're smart and if you're really paying attention, the dead zone is actually an unbelievable opportunity for you to go ahead and achieve and go ahead and recognize capital gains and get a bigger reduction than you will probably get under OZ 2.0. This is Ashley Tison here from OZPros. I've helped investors defer over $1 billion in taxes with opportunity zones. In several of my weekly Ascent 2.0 sessions, and Ascent is our weekly mastermind where we go over all things opportunity zone. We get on there and it's a great community of folks who ask questions, who learn from each other, and they interact in order to do OZ deals. It's fantastic. It's a highlight of my week, and it happens every Tuesday. It's an hour and a half, and I think it's the fastest way to a PhD in opportunity zones. But this question keeps coming up. Should I wait until 2027? Or how can I wait till 2027? If I have a capital gain now, how can I push it until the end? We've got some strategies for that, if it makes sense to do that. But for the lion's share of people, it is going to make a lot more sense to go ahead and take the gain and get it into OZ 1.0 because of what I'm going to show you. There's an old Chinese proverb along the lines of, when was the best time to plant a tree? Well, the answer is 30 years ago. When's the second best time? Right now. The same thing applies to qualified opportunity funds. When was the best time to set up your qualified opportunity fund and fund it with a capital gain? The answer was back in 2018. The second best time is right now. And so if you're waiting, right, and if you're certainly putting things off because you're concerned and you want to take advantage of 2.0, I'm going to blow your mind right here. So there's a couple of reasons why I think that you ought to go ahead and take advantage of getting your opportunity zone fund set up and then funding it with a capital gain. The first is that you're going to get the 10-year clock going and that you're going to start the process. It's the old Chinese proverb. You're going to start growing that tree because there is not a whole lot out there that is more powerful than an aged opportunity zone fund. I talk about this all the time in Ascent 2.0 about the really powerful things that you can do with it once your fund turns 10 years old. Because your 10-year hold period is not how long you hold the individual assets. It's how long you've held your investment into the fund. And so what that allows you to do is that when your fund investment turns 10 years old, you can use this to achieve a step up in basis to fair market value on any capital asset. That presents a whole host of opportunities that I'd love to show you about in Ascent. So join me next Tuesday. Get in there at 10 o'clock. If you got a question about that, first month's on me. The second thing is what the dead period actually is. And this is the answer. So the current OZ tracks expire at the end of 2028. The current OZ program expires at the end of December 31st, 2026. You have to have your capital gain where you've actually incurred it by December 31st, 2026. You actually can wait to put it in, but that's probably not going to make sense. But what it does create is that when they entered and they launched Opportunity Zone 1.0, they wanted to accomplish three things. Number one, they wanted to get the attention of private capital. Number two, they wanted to get private capital off the sidelines. And number three, they wanted to make private capital patient. So the way that they accomplished the number two objective was they tied everything on these additional benefits to December 31st, 2026. If you were invested for 10 years, you got, or for 5 years prior to that, you got a 10% reduction in basis. If you're invested for 7 years, you got a 15% reduction in basis, which is effectively either a 10% or a 15% reduction in taxes when you go to pay them December 31st, 2026. They had to tie it to a date so that way the reconciliation bill passed. That date is December 31st, 2026. In 2.0, that date goes away. It's just a rolling 5-year deferral window. So there's not the opportunity to do what I'm getting ready to show you, which is to be able to use that date in order to pay less money in taxes. Well, sure, but how am I going to do that? The answer is this. When they passed the legislation, they had to put in there, because there was this perception that opportunity zones were bad investments or could potentially be bad investments, that you're going into these untested areas that really need capital, notwithstanding the fact that some of them are absolutely amazing. But they had to give investors assurance that if they did, and for whatever reason their investment went down, that they wouldn't then owe phantom tax on the original gain amount. And so they created, and they put this into the legislation, that you pay the taxes on whatever your original gain amount was, or the value of your QOF investment at the time, whichever is less. So what that creates is that creates a valuation discount opportunity for anybody who invests into an opportunity zone prior to December 31st, 2026. Let's say you have $1 million of capital gain. You stick that into a qualified opportunity fund prior to December 31st, 2026. That qualified opportunity fund then puts it into a qualified opportunity zone business, and then it goes about the business of doing development. It puts things under construction. It goes about the business of doing opportunity zone things. Well, that function, right, by very definition, usually it's probably not going to be complete on December 31st, 2026. So if it's under construction, then you have an inherent valuation discount that you're going to be able to apply to that investment because of the timing. And that's the key, is that it's all about the timing. It's all about using that December 31st, 2026 deadline in order to write down your investment on paper and be able to pay less taxes. There's also, inside of the IRS code, and these are well-accepted principles, a discount for lack of control and a discount for lack of marketability. So if you combine those three, you can get substantial discounts on what you're going to pay in taxes. Usually a lot more than 30%. And the 30% inside of a rural qualified opportunity fund is amazing. But I think that you could probably get even more than 30% if you're careful about what you go into and how you go about the business of actually documenting that valuation discount. Thus, accordingly, why wait? Why try to game the system? Why try to time your capital gain? A lot of people can't do that. And so anybody that's had a capital gain, you absolutely need to be getting it into an opportunity zone fund. Or if you're thinking about that, process this into your thought process, so that way you're really factoring in how you can take advantage of this date timeline ability to be able to take a discount in valuation. If you're interested in learning more about this, or if you're an advisor wanting to advise your clients, clarity is everything. And in my Ascent 2.0 community, we tackle issues like this every week. The value is staying audit ready, avoiding costly mistakes, and keeping deals moving even in times of uncertainty. Like when everybody else is saying, oh, well, how am I going to wait? You know, you got the details about why it makes sense to go ahead and get going now. This is what protects wealth and keeps investors compliant And also, this is how you as an advisor separate yourself from the crowd. Or if you're raising money for a fund, this is how you tell your investors why they need to act now instead of waiting for 2.0. So if you're wondering whether to move now or wait, either book a free 15-minute call with our team at OZPros. We'll review your gain, confirm your compliance, and map out the next best step to keep you on track. Or for a deeper dive, if you want to talk directly to me, you can join Ascent 2.0, and the first month's on me. It's our weekly membership that keeps investors, accountants, and advisors audit ready, simplifies compliance, and helps you capture every available OZ benefit. I'd love to see you on Tuesday. Join us and make sure that we are helping you execute on your opportunity zone dreams. Sherpa, out.